Hello there, this is Nurse Carol, and it's been a couple weeks since I've seen you all, and I'm hoping and praying that you are out there. I'm going to chat here for a minute or two. It's 6 o'clock in Stockton, Missouri, and we do have some rain in the area. I'm hoping that I won't lose my Wi-Fi. Sometimes I do. And so if I lose you permanently, you'll just know it's due to the storms. We've been having rain, gobs and gobs of rain. And so we are, the gardens are beautiful. We have tons of water and we've got humidity. And if you're out there, I would like to know it. Now I've got, oh good, I see you. Okay, great. And I want to know if you're there. I want you to connect with me and give me a thumbs up or whatever. Let me know. I see that Gerald and Nancy Walker are there. Shirley's there. Great. I got both of my I got my iPad and my phone on, so I don't know what I'm doing, a double take here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm on it. Can you hear me all right? That's my next question. I'm really excited about tonight's video. I really prayed that I could get this out and talk to you and get it, make myself clear. And I've got so many things are happening. I'm talking to so many patients, clients, and I talk to so many people and so many missionaries, different people around the country, people in the Lord's work that are sick and can't get well, can't find the cause. And Mary Journal, good. I can hear you. I'm glad to see you. Good, Erica Collins. All right, I've got two things going here. I don't know which one's on which, but I'm going to talk to both of them. And so I'm excited about tonight's video. I have learned so much in the last year and a half, and I'm going to start with a prayer, and then I'm going to take off. And good. I see some. I've had some connection. You realize they can control the timeline. Where I was having 2,000 people, 1,500 people view me, they put my videos at the very bottom of the feed, so then they're not getting around. And they did that when they put me in jail. And so when they put me in jail, that was, then I'm sort of labeled sick, and we can't function as well as we would like to. We can't be a testimony to you. And I want to be a testimony, Lord. I want to have joy. I want to be talking about the gospel and witnessing to people. But Lord, if we're sick all the time, we don't want to do that. And so I ask, Lord, that you would let this video just go all kinds of places, Lord, and bless it in Jesus' name. Amen. I always think of the verse, present your bodies a living sacrifice. And that's our reasonable service. And of course, I think of the verse, what know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? Jesus doesn't live in the church. He lives in here, and we don't feed him very good. We don't treat him very good. And so there's a lot of verses out there. I always talk about my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because, hi Stephanie, and hi Sarah Wolf, and people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We need knowledge. I'm not going to talk about the V tonight, but if you have knowledge, you'll know what to do. If you don't have knowledge, you will be afraid, and you will not know what to do. And I will answer anybody's. Well, I take that back. As fast as I can answer people without too much time, I will answer questions. Part of why I wanted to talk today was to tell you some of the good results that I've had, and I'll probably do that towards the end of the video. But the first thing that I wanted to say was in November of 2019, which is 19 months ago now, I was diagnosed by a biomeridian scan with chronic Lyme, I knew I was sick. That's why I went to this nurse, and it's a nurse practitioner who does a computerized program on the nerves in your hand and your feet. And I found out I had chronic Lyme bacteria. I had 4 or 5 funguses. I had 7 parasites. I had been feeling bad for a number of years. I had been going to my holistic doctor, and he kept me going. And people ask me, well, how can you be doing so good when other people with chronic Lyme are flat on their back? I think it's because 85% of the time I've stayed on a clean diet since I was 45. And so this is the thing I wanted to say, that I care so much about people who are not having quality life, can't lose the weight. And you know, weight affects us so badly. It affects every area of your life. You can't move like you want to. I want to get down and play with my grandkids. You can't move like you want to. You can't, the intimacy, there's so many areas that affects confidence. And it really, eventually, it's gonna catch up with you. And so, but I could not lose weight, stayed on the healthy diet. I did drop about 25 and then came to a standstill, and nothing happened. My holistic doctor kept me going, and in 2019, around Thanksgiving time, when I found out this information, I, of course, was quite surprised. I had known people with Lyme that were bedridden. I knew several people whose lives were just completely taken over by chronic Lyme. I knew that when I heard the word Lyme, I got tears in my eyes. And the nurse came around her desk, and after I had paid for my scan was only $50 here in Missouri. They're wonderful. I got 2 bottles of herbs. It was $96. She came around the desk, and of course, she'd interviewed me. She said that she had interviewed me, so she knew as a nurse, and she knew I'd taken care of a lot of people. And she said, she came around the desk and she opened her arms real wide, and she gave me a big bear hug, and she said, now it's time to take care of Carol. And that just touched my heart so much, because so many times medical people have been unkind, blunt. My doctor told me, even though my doctor, my husband told my doctor Carol should be a stick. She's riding a bike 25 miles a day. I see what she eats, and the doctor said she's still eating too much. And so, you know, I had compassion from a nurse. Well, I went home and promptly decided to try and learn about everything. But my prayer was this, and I'm saying this for those of you that have been trying to get to me and can't get to me, or you're consistent, and please keep trying. Don't give up. I'm behind right now, but don't give up. And so this is what I told God on Thanksgiving, about 10 days after I sort of had a little bit of a pity party. I said, my life first to God, which is in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning Carol Fry. 1 Thessalonians 5, 16, 17, and 18. Rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks. In Lyme, in cancer, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God. But this is what I prayed. I said, God, if I can help somebody, I want to be a help to people. I didn't even know what I was talking about. I wasn't online at that time. We moved here, and we, on the ranch to help, and we work with troubled boys. But I was not working for the first time in 50 years, which was absolutely wonderful. But I was very busy doing other things, church and home and food and juicing. And because of my health, you know, I was glad I wasn't working, and I didn't really know what I was saying when I said, I hope I can help somebody. Well, I proceeded to order like 5 books right away about everything. And I looked online. This is one of the things I wish I could teach people, how to choose the right things. But I found a doctor. He's one of the top doctors in America who had Lyme, and he's basically cured it, although he did have to change some things about his practice. And so, yeah, there's a girl on here saying, that's right, as a caregiver, I put myself last, and I ate like a bird, and I put on a lot of weight. Yes, we caregivers tend to put ourselves last. I put everybody ahead of me. I still put my husband ahead of me as much as I can. And then we don't take care of ourselves, and that's not good. And So that was November of 19. And of course, no one, the corona wasn't around then. And in March of 2020, which would be 4 or 5 months later, Mrs. Trieber called me and she said, if I had 50 years of nursing knowledge like you do, she said, I would be online teaching people what to do about the virus. Well, I didn't even give it a thought. I was so busy trying to get well myself. And by the way, folks, I'm a work in progress. I'm still working on getting well. I'm not over my Lyme. I don't know if I'm hoping and praying I will get over it, but I'm not. And so I've got a lot of issues. And so when she called me, I just sort of ignored it. And because one thing, it's technology. It's learning the technology. It's, I had to get dressed up and fix my hair, put my makeup on if I didn't put it on today, get all fixed up. And it's time consuming. Today I sat down for in fact, this video I've been preparing for 2 weeks. And people will thank me, and it is a ministry and I am doing it. But as I get busier, it really helps when people send me a love offering, even $20 to my PayPal or a check to my home, just for my time, just for my books. Just for many, I'd say dozens of people call me a week, spend 30 minutes messaging me, thank me, and I never hear from them again. Or they check in another month and use me for another 30 minutes. Never do anything for me. It's okay. It's to the glory of God. I said I wanted to be a help. But I also know that I have to take care of myself. So I'm down now to where I've got a waiting list of about 9 people waiting for appointments, and I'm going to have to, I've got some issues going on right now, and I don't really want to tell all about it, but I had to go to a doctor last week and get an x-ray and stuff like that I don't usually do. And so I'm a little bit behind, but I want you to know the squeaky wheel gets the oil with Carol Tudor. So just keep texting me and call me again or private message me, whatever method you've been using. So after Mrs. Trieber called me in March, about a week later, she called me again. And she said, if you'll go online and teach, I'll share it to all my ladies. Well, they have a big church in California. I'm sure many of you know who they are. And so she did this for 4 straight weeks. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And I had Loretta happen to be in town, and I had her help me with the technology, and I bought a tripod, which is since broken, and I still would like to have better technology. I wish I had. My husband and I both do videos, and so and we are in a real rural area surrounded by ranches, and when we have storms, our Wi-Fi is weird, and so that was another reason I didn't want to do it. So I started doing it in probably April of 2020. I know I've got probably 50 videos online. I haven't wanted to go to YouTube because I don't want to be open to the world. I would like to help my sisters and brothers in Christ. I would like to help pastors and missionaries and friends, students, people that I've known, people that I've had contact with. There's enough there for me to help. I don't need to go out. I've had people call me and tell me, pastors, you're giving this away for free and you could make a living on it. So I want you to know that I care. I became a nurse because I love people, and I hate to see when people are in pain. I hate to see when people are sick. I dislike so many things that are being done to so many people, and by the medical profession. And we do have socialized medicine now. We've got a change in our world. And when they put in the Affordable Care Act, Mr. Obama changed the whole system. And so it's very hard to get real answers. And of course, Europe, it's interesting. They look more at root causes, where Americans look more at treating symptoms. It's all about the symptoms. It's not about root causes. So I sat down and I was reading and all the stuff I've been learning, and I wanted to talk about, there's 5, I think I got 5 things tonight. And I'm not going to go into any of them in depth. Some of you are going to be disappointed. I am mostly going to connect the dots and see if I can give you some help, sign you up for an appointment, help you know why you're not feeling as good. We should be feeling great. We live in America. I know our country's under an attack right now, satanic attack, but we still have it so much better than other countries. We have a lot of food. We have a lot of restaurants. We have a lot. I have a garden. I have a freezer. I have access to grass-fed, grass-finished beef right here in Missouri. I'm surrounded by wonderful ranches and things, and I've learned in 3 years. I've found my sources. And so, there are. But why are Americans so fat? Why are Americans so sick? Why are Christians so sick? We pray and pray for people and they still die. People take chemo and they take radiation. Now, yes, a lot live, but you wouldn't believe the statistics on how many die. I'm talking about young people. Last year I lost 5 students / friends, all under 55. And I mean, it's just unbelievable what's happening. And so I got to thinking about one of the #1 causes is mineral deficiency. I listed that first on my video subject. And mineral deficiency is huge right now. Okay, what minerals? Well, I'm not going to name them all, but there's a ton of them. Magnesium, calcium, iodine, boron, selenium. There's a lot of them. That's just a few. Copper. And what happens is when our body does not have minerals, then these glands, for example, your thyroid gland needs iodine to operate. Your minerals give your glands and organs the nutrition they need in order to put all these hormones out. So if I don't have iodine, I'm not going to make adequate thyroxine. If I don't have adequate thyroxine, I'm going to have weight issues, fatigue issues, digestive issues, hair, skin, and nails. The thyroid problem in America is huge. And you will not get enough iodine from your sea salt. That's not where you're not going to be able to get it. You need to supplement with iodine. Okay, but let's go on to magnesium. So many people have muscle cramps. Charley horses, they have weakness. Magnesium deals with 700 different body systems. I just can't even explain it. And one of them is irregular heartbeats and heart symptoms. I can't tell you how many of my clients have gone to ERs thinking they're having a heart attack. They go through all this stress, all these tests, because the doctors in the ERs are residents. They're not full-fledged doctors. They're practicing. They're learning. And so they have to call the expert to come down. They have to do all these tests. And then they say, your heart's fine. And they give you either an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, or something for pain, and they send you home. And you know what it is? It's many times it's magnesium. And magnesium affects the heart. Potassium affects the heart. Potassium's an electrolyte. It's not a mineral. So these mineral deficiencies are long-term. And of course, I didn't mention parasites, but all the invaders, they're eating your nutrition. And I'd like to stop right here and just say, we nurses are sort of strange. We like to know what's going on. We like pictures of parasites. We like pictures of surgery. We like to see what's going on in the human body. We're a unique breed. We're a unique sisterhood. I see some people giving me well, of course, if you're in the hospital and you're bleeding, you want a nurse who's calm and knows what to do about bleeding. You want a nurse who knows what to do and how to help you. And so we're trained. And then we're interested in things. Now I will say this: I don't care about looking at some vomit, okay? but if I'm holding a basin and somebody's throwing up, I might gag with them. I won't throw up, but I might swallow. But I want to see if someone's passing some worms. I want to see them. I want to know what is. My whole philosophy about health is expect the worst, but hope for the best. I want to know the truth, doctor. I want to know the facts. And if I'm not getting the facts from the doctor, I'm going to go find out where I'm going to get the facts. I just finished reading this, Bitten. This is the Secret History of Lyme Disease Biological Weapons, journalist. And I will read, thank God I can read. My favorite quote is, you'll be the same person 10 years from now, except for the books you read and the people you meet. Most of you spend a lot of time reading fiction. You don't need to be reading fiction. You need to be the Bible and learning. Now, I watch an old Matlock to relax. I'm not saying I don't But I mean, you'd laugh at my TV skills. I mean, I don't have cable. I don't have anything like that. I like the cooking. I'll watch a cooking show. I'll watch Wheel of Fortune and my game show, and I'll watch maybe an old Matlock or an old Diagnosis Murder with Dick Van Dyke. You know, I mean, I'm not into the new stuff. I don't want to hear the cussing. I don't want to hear all the garbage. So what are you doing about knowing and learning what's going on with you? This is what people do. I was in the store I was in Dillard's, and I haven't had this size in years. I bought a new blouse for church. It's really pretty top, stretchy knit. And it's the lowest size I've been able to buy. And I was like really excited. And the lady had remembered, and she goes, "You've lost weight." So I said, "Yes." She asked me how. I said 2 things: balancing my hormones and killing parasites. Oh, right away she goes, "Ew, I didn't want to talk about that." And this is the attitude that people have about parasites, fungus, mold. Now, sometimes mold and fungus are easier to talk about than parasites, but do you know what? They are living. They're an invader. So we've got the 5 invaders, and we already know what viruses can do to people. We know that. We know that from this last 2 years or 1.5 years. And so one of the 5 invaders, or maybe more, believe it or not, I had a virus, I had a bacteria, Lyme, I had a parasite, I had fungus. I had 4 of the 5 invaders in my body and didn't even know it. And nurses are very high risk. And there's a whole list of people that are high risk. And if you have dogs, I think it's wonderful. You deworm them twice a year. Well, you should do the same thing to yourself. I don't think we should go, "Ew, I didn't want to think about that. I don't want." Now, you don't have to look at pictures like I do. And hi, Patty Hartman. And you don't have to look at pictures like I do. But people now, they'll say, "Mrs. Tudor, I did what you said. Do you want to see what what came out?" And I go, "Of course, send me pictures." I mean, that's exciting. Someone's getting well. They're killing parasites. I don't want those things to be alive in me. I want to kill them. And so, anyway, so I got to thinking about so there's several reasons about mineral deficiency. One, the 5 invaders. As they eat your nutrients, then you're lacking especially magnesium. As they eat your food and as they live in your body and they become very comfortable. And here's the thing, that's why I want you to kill them in your kids. Get your kids when they're young, because they're easier to kill when it's a child. Much easier. But children and older people are at high risk. We're at the opposite ends of the spectrum. And anybody with animals, high risk. Because you kiss them, people sleep with them, they hug them, the dog licks them. Where has the dog been licking? What has the dog been eating in the backyard? Just be real. Yes, okay, I came back. Stick with me because the sun is out and we might go in and out. We might go in and out because of the storms, but hang in there and stick with me because I think I'll come back like I did. So you've got the 5 invaders eating your nutrition, nutrients, minerals. Why do we have so many kidney stones? Part of it's diet. Okay, so the reason for mineral deficiencies, number 1, 5 invaders. Do you have them? Find out. Find out what you've got and start getting rid of them. Number 2, diet. You need a lot more greens. We need a lot more greens. Greens are full of magnesium. We need beets. We need squash. We need all the vegetables. They said that Americans count when they eat a burger and they have a slice of tomato and a slice of lettuce on the burger. They count that as 2 vegetables. I think that's how I was before I got real sick and changed. But do you know we're supposed to be eating 7 to 8, 50% of your diet should be vegetables. Dr. Josh Axe, who I really like, he says half your plate at supper, all vegetables. And so the vegetables are what give us our minerals. The vegetables are what give us our nutrients. And so if you're not eating a lot of vegetables, you've got to eat vegetables. You can eat vegetables on keto. A lot of you are on keto diets and you swear by them. For a lot of people, they do nothing. Diets do nothing. I'm going to talk to that in a little bit. And so it could be your diet. Okay, the third thing is it could be stomach and gut issues. Not everyone can digest the foods they are eating. I don't know how many people tell me, "I can't eat raw vegetables, Carol." Listen, God's food does not make you sick. If you're sick or you can't digest, it's because of our bad habits. It's because of the junk, some of the pesticides that are on the the foods. It's part of the chemicals, part of the pesticides, part of the way the food is produced. It's not God's food. I remember somebody telling me I'm allergic to carrots. I go, were they organic? Organic carrots? You can't be allergic to carrots. Now, you can have some physical problems that maybe you've lost your gallbladder, okay, which, by the way, hold on to every organ you can hold on to. I can tell you some flushes to do. Hold on to your organs. Don't get rid of them. My livers, I've got 2 parasitic cysts on my livers. They're not real big, thank God, but I've got liver issues. Well, I am not going to get my liver out. I am going to, right now, my husband and I are on a 5-day liver gallbladder flush. And I mean, I'm going to treat what I find out, but you've got to find out. And so mineral deficiency is huge in America. We are lacking magnesium, we're lacking iodine, we're lacking calcium. Why is somebody fall in their house on carpet and break a bone? Why, and my husband's smiling at me through the window, why, you shouldn't break a bone when you fall on carpet, but we have thinning of the bones because we don't have enough calcium, we don't have enough magnesium, we don't have enough D3. You should be taking 5,000 D3 K2 every day for the rest of your life. My husband and I were exposed to the virus. We did not get it. We were, my husband worked through the whole thing, and he's 77, but we've been on D3 K2, D3 for probably 15 years, thanks to Dr. Cal Streeter. So your mineral deficiency is caused by those things. Now, if you want to improve on it, there's some things you can do. One thing, I take stomach enzymes. My husband and I both take stomach enzymes. And bone broth is excellent for mineral deficiency. Juicing is excellent. Not juicing a whole bunch of fruit. Juicing greens. I put parsley, kale, carrot, lemon, a small amount of apple, maybe some beet, some ginger root in my juices, and that's another way to get your nutrients. I also supplement with minerals. I'm on 3 different minerals. If you're having any palpitations, muscle cramps, fatigue, insomnia is a huge one. I cannot tell you how much better my husband and I are both sleeping since we started getting rid of the invaders and taking minerals. By the way, both of us had a scan where it said lacking minerals. It can show up. You can find out. Second, let me talk about not losing weight in spite of diet and exercise. Now, I am the queen. I've always been very physically active. When I was 65, I was riding a bike. My adopted daughter, Rachel Turner, and I were riding a bike. We would go all the way to Hammond. We would leave Maryville and go all the way to Hammond and back, stop in Griffith, eat breakfast, and then come all the way back to Maryville. It ended up being like 11, 12 miles to the spot in Hammond. Then we had to get off, ride from the trail to the restaurant, and then back to the trail, and then back on the bike trail, and all the way down. It was a 25-mile ride. I loved it. We loved it. She didn't have kids yet, and she had a situation where she could help me and work with me, and we rode the bike. I mean, I was riding 25 miles 5 days, Monday through Friday, and nothing was happening. I had taken off 25. I went to Weight Watchers, and that helped me because they taught me some things. But I want to guarantee you, that these people who say all you have to do is exercise and count calories, that is not true. Because you could have a serious hormone imbalance and invaders like I did. So when I came here 18 months ago, I weighed almost 40 pounds more than I weigh right now. I did not diet. The only exercise I did was taking care of my large home, and it is a lot of work. But, folding, laundry, cooking, cleaning, exercise, I did all that kind of work, gardening. I did the normal activities of daily living. I did not go on a bike for 25 miles. I did not give up my sourdough bread. I did not give up my when I eat a sweet potato, I eat a small one or a half of a one. I did not give up my good foods. And without even dieting. Because guess what? I found out what was causing me not to lose weight. Now, it used to be I was the kind of person, if I would eat a slice of bread, I would gain like 3 or 4 pounds. And all the years I was working at it, I would, Thanksgiving would come and I would eat a little bit. I was eating healthy, but I would probably eat more than I should. And maybe I had a pumpkin mousse and it was healthy. It was maybe very clean, sugar-free, but maybe it was calories. But I didn't count calories. But I would gain the natural from Thanksgiving to January. The average American gains 15 pounds. I would gain all that. Then it would take me 4 or 5 months to lose it. And I have a couple friends that have always been able, if they stop eating for 3 or 4 days, they lose 5-6 pounds. I was never able to do that. That's a normal metabolism. I never had normal metabolism. I think I had one in med school until they put me on drugs. They put me on the pill. They put me on antibiotics. I was over medicated, hyper antibiotic treatment. And so by the time I hit my middle age, I was, 45 pounds. And my husband, he weighed 50 pounds more than he weighs right now. He weighs 193 pounds and he's 77. He does all his own gardening. He's very active. He's still working part-time. He works a 25-hour-a-week job. And so, I want to encourage you. Some of you think you don't have any character. You've got character. If you are doing egg whites, and by the way, eggs are wonderful for you. They're not wonderful if they're bad eggs. You need to get free range, farm raised, or organic eggs. I get some of my eggs at Sam's. I get as many as I can from the farms around here. Some of the people at the church give me the eggs. I'm going back and forth between two pieces, my phone and my iPad. So I apologize for that, but I did this so that I could keep going because of the Wi-Fi. So anyway, eggs are wonderful for you. So here we are. We're Americans are dieting constantly, and yet we're the fattest nation. By 2030. 1 out of every 2 people is going to be a diabetic in America. That's their prediction. It breaks my heart, and I understand because I struggled so. And I had no idea. And the phrase I'm using now is you don't lose weight to get healthy. That's what I thought. Because that's what the medical profession taught me. No, you get healthy to lose weight. And so without me even knowing it, I lost about a pound a week. It was so slow I didn't even know it until my skirt fell off in March. And when my skirt fell off at the local thrift store, I gave them all a great laugh. Thankfully, I had leggings on underneath, but still, it didn't just go down and it just dropped. And the lady at the desk happened to be looking at me, and she's still to this day, she cracks up every time she sees me. And she has a variety of names for me, And so anyway, I had no idea. I went to the scale and I dropped like 10, 11 pounds. I didn't even know it. And I'm to this day, I'm still eating my sourdough bread. Tonight I had a delicious organic chicken. I had a small, maybe a third of a sweet potato, and I had a bunch of a kale salad, and I had some green vegetable, and that's it. I always have a small carb at night because I like my carbs at night. My husband has his carbs in the morning. He likes his carbs in the morning, and we do control our carbs. So if you're not losing weight in spite of diet and exercise, and you're not keeping it off, find out what is blocking. Is it invaders? Is it mineral deficiency? Is it hormone imbalance? Because here's the thing. You are what you eat and absorb. All right. So while Carol was eating all the bad food, Carol Tudor, while I was eating all the bad food in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, I was eating all kinds of food that went to my glands and they made me overproduce wrong estrogen. Because remember, you are what you eat. You're a living cell body. Everything that goes in your body is going to go to your organs, your glands, and your cellular level. And you're only as good as your cellular health. And so you're a living cell organism, and you heal. You're a self-healer. Just like remember I've told you get a cut, you bleed, you scab, and it's healed in 3 or 4 days. Unless you have to go get stitches. But pretty much you're a self-healing body, but you're not self-healing if you're not giving yourself a lot of vegetables, clean meat, good fats, the avocados, the coconut oil, the quality good fats, nuts, chia seeds, hemp seeds. And so I was eating all those. I was eating a lot of processed foods. I went to restaurants because I was single. I didn't cook. I ate dining hall food. I ate all the foods that did nothing but make me get fatter in certain areas. I'm amazed when I look at my pictures. I didn't even I did keep a shape, but it was a big shape. And so all these endocrine disruptors, and I was a big pop drinker. Oh my goodness, I drank pop like crazy. And I needed the caffeine to keep going because I was in the dorms late at night checking on girls. And so I had a job where I worked 90 hours a week. And so I used caffeine as energy. And you know what that does? That eventually wears out your thyroid and your adrenals. So all these chemicals, foods, shampoos, all the things around us come into our body and affect our glands and our organs, and they unbalance us. There are people that can't gain weight, bless their hearts. I think we are real happy with them. No, I'm just laughing. But there are people that are so skinny and they'd like to gain weight. I've got several girls that are trying to have babies that can't gain weight, and they need to gain weight. And so some people need to gain, a lot of people need to lose. And so what's happening is, due to all this food and these chemicals and what we've done to our bodies, we can't metabolize properly, we don't digest properly, and our hormones are out of balance. And there's lots of hormones, folks. Insulin is a hormone. Insulin is a hormone just like estrogen is. And we think a pancreas is with digestion. It is, but it's also a gland with a hormone. And insulin resistance is huge in America because we've eaten so much sugar. Then you've got your thyroid, you've got your ovaries, you've got your pituitary, your parathyroids, you've got the ovaries, the testes in the men, you've got the hypothalamus. All these glands work together. And I'm on an herb called endocrine balance. And my nurse gave it to me 18 months ago. And she started, I was already on some natural progesterone, but I had not been really thoroughly tested for all of my hormones. And there are ways to do that. You can have saliva tests. I can give you advice about that if you want. I'm helping with several people that are trying to get hormones balanced. And so we don't lose weight to get healthy. We get healthy to lose weight. So you could have a hormone imbalance. You could have a mineral deficiency. You could have invaders that you don't know about. And by the way, mold is in a lot of old houses and people don't know how bad it is. It's very dangerous. I haven't made a talk about that yet, but I need to. My husband was exposed to mold and fungus in Korea because he served during the Vietnam War. He's hyper-vaccinated. He's got a lot of issues. And most of us have had some kind of a vaccine. I haven't taken anything for 30 years, but most of us have had something, which they have heavy metals in them. And heavy metals damage your immune system. They damage your brain. And so you've got to realize that as you clean up the diet, and that's what I always talk about first, clean up the diet. And you know what, folks? I've been doing this diet since I was 45. It's going close to 30 years. I started some when I was 40, but I got real serious when I was 45. You can do so much. I got my carrots this week. I got 5 pounds of carrots for $3 at my Sam's. You can go to Costco. You can go to Aldi's. There's just innumerable ways to get healthy food and stop complaining about it. People, it's too expensive to eat healthy. Yeah, well, what about all those drugs you buy and all those over-the-counter Tylenol, sinus, and allergy, and all the Kleenex, and all the tests and all the doctors? That's expensive too, and I don't want to do that. So back to this. I want to encourage you, and if I could help anybody, I would love to help you because you have no idea what it's done for me to lose this 40 pounds. And I kept telling people, well, I'm glad, but I don't want to be a bag of wrinkles. And so I'm excited, and I really would like to lose another 15. Right now I'm at a plateau, and I'm happy there. But I probably would have to decrease. I'd probably have to give up my sourdough bread for several weeks. I do eat 1 piece a day, and so, but I would like to, and had a biomeridian scan, and she has a bacterial cyst on her liver. So you can have staph infection and not know it. You can have a strep infection in your body and not know it. I have a friend who had a heart attack. He's only in his 30s. He had strep and it was in his heart. Oh, good. I'm back. Are you still there? If you're still here. I can't believe it. If anybody's still watching, I'd be glad to know. I'm coming back. I came outside to see if I could save the signal. Okay, so I'm still here, and I'm going to go ahead and keep teaching because I can go ahead and share this, even though I've had a couple pauses. Yeah. I'm back, and hey, you're sweet, Amy Knudsen. You're trying to make a comeback. Rooting for you. This is one reason I didn't want to do this, like I told you at the beginning. Okay, so back to this about, I'm going to continue talking, and I'm going to keep going as long as I can, and with interruptions. Anemia, poor absorption. Okay, I moved to another room, and I'm going to see if that makes a difference. And I'm by the window. I apologize. This is why this is a challenge. Okay, I'm going to go back to anemia. They'll charge you so much money to give you IVs of iron, and what they don't know is that your parasites and invaders are eating your food. I want to tell you, okay, I've taken many people to down here to my nurse to get scanned. About 1 out of 20 doesn't have parasites. One person came from Hammond that had 28 parasites. I've had anywhere from 7 to 14 to 28 parasites in people. Yes, and you can get them if you have pets at all. And you may have gotten them when on a trip. People who take missions trips. I was on missions trips. Richard was on missions trips. My husband was in Vietnam. We've been all over. I've been to 9 foreign countries, and you're going to get things. So, don't go, ew, that's icky. I don't want to think about it. You need to think about it. And if you feel great and you have tons of energy and you can do everything you want to do and you're not in pain and you're not sick, well, then you pretty much don't need to worry about this. I'm talking to people who they're lacking quality of life. They don't have energy, or they can't lose weight, or they can't gain weight, or they can't have babies. I can't tell you, it breaks my heart. I have so many young women that are infertile and that cannot conceive, and they want to raise kids, and I want them to, because I know what it's like. I love kids. I want them to have children, and you have to have a healthy body. You have to have minerals to have babies. And you know what? You have to have. There's so many things, even on the man's part. I tell this to so many people: do not let your husbands carry their cell phones in their pockets. It affects the sperm. All these young guys that carry their cell phones in their pockets, and they don't realize. I mean, these cell phones. I'm getting ready to do, if I can. I would like to do a video about EMFs, about what you should do for radiation, and what you should do for to protect yourself. Okay, so seizures in children. I got to get to this because I'm thinking about one of the most important things you need to know is the invaders can go to the brain in anybody. I now believe the most incurable brain cancers, I believe they come from one of the 5 invaders. Now, these invaders get in your body, they lay eggs, they make a nest. Your body puts a material around it to try and protect us from different invaders in your body, including Lyme. You've got to realize, I have chronic Lyme. Chronic Lyme is bacteria.